how can you connect with someone on a very deep level in a relationship or in a friendship? In this video we talk about what deep connection is and how you can establish a deep connection. This is Jonas, and in this channel we talk about authenticity and personal growth. We provide tools and ideas that help you gain clarity, freedom and fulfillment in your life. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. So the essence of how you can connect with someone is to share vulnerably what's actually moving you in that very moment, what's actually really happening inside yourself in that very moment. And the same thing if the other person has the courage to really share vulnerably what's actually moving that person, then you can connect with this other person. And so what are things that can move you, or like how can you actually have that conversation? So first and foremost, if you can be with this other person very present, like be very present in your conversation and really carefully listen to what they say and ask questions about, basically to go deeper. For example, if someone tells you that they're working as whatever, as a carpenter or as a doctor or as an engineer or whatever. Let's take someone that works as a carpenter, and you can ask them, so why do you work as a carpenter? What is it that actually fascinates you about it? What is it that moves you about working as a carpenter? And that person might say something like, I love to create something physically, like I love this idea that you lay a floor and suddenly you see like you've actually changed this room, you actually created something new. Or maybe you create a cottage, like you build a cottage, a little house with wood, and then you start from nothing, and then you lay the foundation, and you put all the walls there, you cut all the stuff that it's actually fitting very well, and you create this new thing. Like you have it in your head, and then you use your hands and like wood to really build something, and you experience this like process of creation. And maybe that's what this person loves about being a carpenter. Maybe that person just loves to like work with the hands and actually create something physically in the world and see that process of creation, see that like feeling connected to creation and to Mother Earth by actually working with this wood, like touching this wood or whatever. Or it could be something else, maybe, or someone that works with kids. What they could like is to, basically, they love to like see this curiosity of the child or like this playfulness or whatever, and they're like very inspired. But it moves something in them. Maybe it allows them to be a little bit more playful again as well, or maybe to be more curious. Or and so basically, the person, if you are really curious and actually allow this other person to tap into what really moves them and share that, then a natural connection can happen. And it's really about allowing yourself and the other person to share what really moves in their core, what really is happening deep inside themselves. And the same with you, when you allow yourself to really share from that place of what is actually moving me inside myself. And that can be anything. So when you talk with someone, it can be right now in this very moment, you've had a very hard conversation with your boss this day, and this has really moved you because maybe it made you afraid or it made you sad because you feel like, I don't know about this job because this boss is like, I don't have a good relationship with this boss. Or maybe you wanted to do a project, but you failed at it or whatever. Maybe that's something like, maybe some sadness comes up, or maybe some anger. Or maybe you've had an awesome day and someone gave you a really nice compliment, and that compliment made your day and made you feel very grateful and very happy and maybe very attractive or maybe very joyful or whatever. But you share what's really moving you very, like in this very moment, and you share it from an experience level. So when you are with another person and that person asks you, what was your day, how was your day, and then you can say something like, actually share those stories, but actually feel into them. And when you're saying them, like you feel the emotions that situations triggered in you, or you kind of like share it from this experience level, like kind of from your body, like from how it felt in your body, such that the other person can also feel how you felt. And that thing that can happen with something that happened in this day, or it can be something very deep that really moves you in general in your life, or you can talk about something. But the thing is, what really connects is if you can share from this experience level, from actually your emotions, from how you're feeling about something, because that creates this bond. So why is that? Why does this create a bond? So when you imagine, like, you have you have like these stories of like people going on an adventure together, and it really bonds them. It brings them together. So like you can go and whatever, travel through the world together, or maybe you have like a challenge that you work through together, and all those things, you have experiences that you share, and those experiences bond you together because you feel connected. You feel like you've gone through something together, and that bonds you. But then that bond doesn't necessarily have to happen in a way that you have experienced something together. You can also share how, like, an experience you had, something that you've experienced, and share it from that emotional level, from that experience level. And if you share it from that experience level and make the other person able to feel how you felt, and kind of share the experience through them being able to, like, they can see how you were in that situation with the boss, or maybe in that situation when your father told you something that very impacted you a lot, or whatever you're sharing. If they can really go into that situation and feel and somehow experience it themselves, at least a little bit, experience it themselves in their body, in their consciousness, in their emotions, and feel like, oh, that's how you felt. And then, if you do that, then you can actually share this experience, even though the other person wasn't in the same situation. And so that's how you can connect very deeply with someone, because that kind of sharing of experiences, that sharing of emotions, that is what makes you feel like, we are experiencing something. Because the connection doesn't happen through you telling a story or telling some facts. Like, telling a fact can just be an information, or it can be an experience. If you tell your whole life story, but only from a mental level, like if you only share this from a mental level, saying what are the facts, like, I did this, I worked there, I had this girlfriend, I had that friendship, I lived in this country, and whatever, you share all those experiences, but you only share them from a factual level, then no bond is going to happen. Like, the other person is not going to feel like they're sharing something with you. It's just information that's thrown at them. But if you allow yourself to feel into those experiences, feel into what you are sharing, and have them basically experience it with you a little bit, like feel how it felt, how it made you feel, how it changed your being, how it changed how you felt about yourself or thought about yourself, and so on. Like, if you actually allow them to have an experience, like really feel it somehow, then they are going to be able to bond with you. And I was really extreme at some point in my life. Like, I was sharing all like the craziest, really most vulnerable stories, like things that really moved me deep inside, like what happened, some difficult stuff that happened in my childhood, or some other very difficult stuff that people would normally only share with someone that they're really, really close to. And I kind of explored that, and I just shared it with everyone in a way, or I just shared it with a lot of people. But what I realized is, like, it's really not about sharing those stories. It's about really feeling them when you share them. And so why is the feeling so important? The feeling is, like, if you share that from a feeling level, it takes courage. It takes, like, maybe if it was something that made you feel sad, then you have to really share it. You have to allow yourself to feel that sadness a little bit. So you allow yourself to be sad and speak from that sad place. Or maybe it was something very joyful, and then you can feel into that joy and like actually share that joy while you're saying it and actually feel that joy. Or maybe it was something that made you very angry, and you share that from this angry space, and you're like, I'm so angry at this shit. And you actually experience it while you're there and make the other person feel that you are in that situation while you're telling it somehow. You kind of feel into that situation. That feeling, it takes courage, it takes some effort to go into there and really allow the other person to see how this made you feel. And this, the fact that is a little bit of a risk, because also if you share that really vulnerably and the other person doesn't give a shit or doesn't really kind of accept that and connect with you in there, if they just kind of like shut it off or don't really, if they're not present with what you're sharing, then it can be hurtful. It can be like something like I was actually sharing this, I wanted you to participate in this, but you just cut it off, or you didn't actually kind of connect with me on that. It's like you're risking something, but by risking, you also open the potential for a very deep connection. Because when you connect with someone deeply, you always have this possibility of being hurt because of something that the other person does, because you're connected. So you and the other person, they are connected. And if the other person does something that that you don't agree with, or that is kind of disturbing for you, then because you're connected, it kind of translates to you as well. So there is something that's happening there. So it's a risk, but at the same time, it can be also very, very fulfilling. It can be very, very nourishing to actually feel those connections to other people. And so because you're risking something, that's why you actually deeply connect. That's the reason why sharing from this emotional, like this experience level, is actually the key to deep connections. That's what I wanted to say today about deep connections. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments, what have you experienced in your life about deep connections? Have you ever shared something vulnerably? How did it make you feel? And what is your experience with deep connections? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please like it. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing and put on notifications if you want to be notified for new videos. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a very good day. Goodbye.